Thank you for joining us today on our Cruise and Travel Expo live talk. Today, our special guest is Cathy Kasuma with Atlas Ocean Voyages. Hi, Cathy.
Hi, how are you?
It's good to see you. We've worked together in the past on other projects.
Yeah,
And
it's great to be here.
we have, you're representing really a brand new cruise line, right?
Indeed, a brand new cruise line with new ships coming out in 21 and beyond.
Well, great. I want to welcome everybody to the talk and also say if you have questions, you can just type them into the chat box and I will try to feed them to Cathy later on. And also, if you want, later on, we'll have a chance. I'll unmute everybody, or I'll have you a chance for you to turn on your video cameras, webcam. Just let me know if that's something you want to do. And welcome, everybody. Welcome, Cathy. Thank you very much. And please tell us all about Atlas Ocean Voyages.
I would love to. So like Michael said, I am with Atlas Ocean Voyages, a new startup cruise line that I'm super excited to tell you all about. And if you don't mind, I would like to share my screen so I can show you some pretty pictures. You don't have to look at me the whole time. And then that way we can kind of take you through what Atlas is all about. So hopefully everybody can see my screen now.
Looks good on my end, Cathy.
Awesome. So, you know, people say, what a great time to get into the cruise industry. But Atlas Ocean Voyages is, has been in the works for a couple of years now. This is not just, we didn't just pick this random time to start up. But it is a brand new small ship luxury expedition cruise line that is super exciting and that I am really looking forward to kind of sharing and telling you all about. So I'm going to go through in the next little bit what Atlas Ocean Voyages is, who we are, and explain why we call ourselves the LUXE-ADVENTURE experience, and tell you about all of the inclusions that go along with LUXE-ADVENTURE and a sailing with Atlas. I'll talk about our 2021 and 22 expeditions. We have both warm water and cold water destinations that we visit. I'll talk a little bit about a unique bundled itinerary called Max Shore. And we'll also go over the latest promotions that are taking place that you can get through Michael and his associates. He's got all of the information on that. And we've got some really great things in store for people that are interested in booking right away. So allow us to introduce ourselves. We are Atlas Ocean Voyages. We are headquartered in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and that is where we're based. We do have a parent company that is based in Portugal. That's also where we build all of our ships. But we are a new all-inclusive travel brand, and I'll talk about what that all-inclusive nature means here in just a few minutes. We are a small ship cruise line with a LUXE-ADVENTURE experience. So we really take that luxury cruise line experience and the expedition experience, and we marry the two to come up with our LUXE-ADVENTURE with a casual feel on board. Our first ship launches next summer in 2021, and her name is World Navigator, and we're going to talk a little bit about her as well. So what is LUXE-ADVENTURE? This is a new type of travel experience that we are looking to define. There was somewhat of a void in the marketplace in the cruise industry right now, and our owners have decided we really want to market to the North American clientele something that will take unusual expedition type experiences that marry them with people who enjoy the finer things in life. We don't want it to be a super formal experience. It's very casual, relaxed, elegant, simple luxury on board, but all the fine appointments, fine dining, and obviously all of these wonderful small ports and destinations that we'll be able to get to, but bringing all of this together in one cruise line. And so that's kind of the idea behind Atlas Ocean Voyages and our LUXE-ADVENTURE experiences. So what's so big about our small ship? We have a series of 5 ships that will be released between 2021 and 2023, but our first ship will be launched in July of 2021, and her name is World Navigator. And all of our ships will be identical. They're just under 10,000 tons, so very small. Only 98 staterooms per ship. And again, we'll have the intimate experience on board of being able to get into some of these smaller ports of call that large ships aren't able to do. All of our ships will be green, so we will feature this new propellerless hybrid propulsion technology on board, and we'll also be anchorless. So we'll have this anchorless positioning system that allows us to visit places and have the marine environment completely undisturbed while we're there, which is super important for an expedition line as well. And of course, because we know it's forefront on everyone's minds right now, World Navigator will also feature the latest technology that's available and all of the latest safety protocols at the time of our launch in July of next year. We are working very diligently and keeping abreast of all of the latest safety features and technologies that we can, but we realize that come about a year from now, things could be very, very different in terms of what is needed on board. So we have our finger on the pulse of all of that's taking place and going on right now. So you can rest assured that she's a brand new ship, completely built from scratch out of our ship building and our shipyard in Portugal. And we'll, again, feature some of the latest technology to keep you comfortable when you're sailing on board. So again, we're going to have 5 ships in our fleet by 2023, all identical. But like I said, World Navigator will be our first ship that launches next summer. When we travel to warm water destinations, we will only fill the ship to 196 guests double capacity and 186 guests in Antarctica. And the reason for that is we set aside some staterooms to bring on an additional expedition team of experts that will come on board and give you briefings and talk all about the wonderful things that there are to see in Antarctica. We only have 98 staterooms, so again, a small intimate experience on board, and a 1 to 1.4 crew to guest ratio. So again, that luxury service that you would be accustomed to on a standard luxury ship. Because she's small, we'll have only 4 dining venues, but we will have Michelin star chefs. And we'll have, again, those 4 dining venues plus room service. We'll have a main dining room that has open seating at all times. We'll have an alfresco outdoor dining area just off the main dining room, as well as a grab-and-go option place that is close to our gym and our spa area. And then we'll have a cafe, an outdoor cafe area by our pool deck, where you can also grab things to eat too in a more casual setting there. We'll have 1 main lounge and auditorium where we'll do all of our briefings for our expeditions as well as our nightly entertainment. We'll have a variety of entertainment on board, but because we are a small ship, they will be, again, more of an intimate setting. So we'll have a pianist or maybe some dueling pianos that's still in development right now. We'll have a live band or a trio that will be on board. And then we will also have some unique pop-up venues throughout the ship. So every voyage will have something a little bit unique. But during these different pop-ups, we'll have, some will be culinary based and some will be entertainment based on board to make each voyage a little bit unique and special. We'll have a heated pool and hot tubs on board on our top deck. And then we have this really unique place called the Water's Edge. So it's all the way at the bow of the ship. And I'll back up 1 slide so you can see it. The very, very front of the ship there in the bow, you can see that there's an observation deck. And that deck is there. It's only 30 feet above the water. That's why we call it Water's Edge. And you can actually go out there during scenic cruising time or when we're in our expedition areas, and you can sit out there and enjoy the view, the wildlife, and see the glaciers calving in Antarctica, enjoy the view of the Amalfi Coast in Europe. And during cold water expeditions, we'll actually have heated benches so you can sit out there and stay warm and enjoy all that there is to see in the areas that you're cruising to. Again, we'll have a full service gym. We'll have a juice and smoothie bar there as well. And we'll have a sea spa that features LUXE-ADVENTURE products. We are partnering with them, so they will have all those wonderful soaps and lotions in our spa and wellness area, but also inside the staterooms as well. So we'll have all of those products on board. So when we talk about us being all-inclusive, Our promotion is all inclusive all the way, but every single Atlas Ocean Voyage journey that you will take will include all of the following. And one is some of your shore excursions. So in select ports, you will have free shore excursions to choose from, and that will also depend on the length of the cruise. Standard Wi-Fi service is included. All of your gourmet international cuisine, premium beer, wine and spirits, and of course your non-alcoholic beverages are included. Because we're a green ship, we'll have reusable bottles there that will provide filtered water. LUXE-ADVENTURE bath amenities that I just mentioned, as well. Anyone who's in a suite stateroom will also have butler service. Gratuities are included with the entire trip. And one of the biggest things is that round-trip airfare is included from 16 different gateways in the US and Canada. This includes local gateways. For many of you would be Atlanta, but Miami, Fort Lauderdale, a lot of different gateways are included. If you want that list of inclusions, I can list them off for you in the question section, or you can always contact Michael and his team and they'll be able to share that with you. We also have a variety of different luxe accommodations there. We do have 3 different categories of 1-bedroom suites with an extended outdoor balcony. And then we also have 4 different types of veranda staterooms. 2 types will actually be the outdoor balcony that you may be used to on a traditional cruise ship, a 52 square foot balcony. And then the others are called a French or Juliet style balcony, which actually incorporates the balcony square footage within the living space of that stateroom. But it does have floor to ceiling windows, and then the upper portion of that window opens up so you can take in the fresh air, see the sights. But when you're not using it, you can close the window and again, utilize all of that living space right there in the balcony. So we have the deluxe versions of those, which is about 30 square feet larger. And then we have our standard versions of these staterooms. And then we also have a handful of outside staterooms with a large picturesque window. And all of these staterooms are in the luxury space. So they'll all be luxury appointments as well. But we feel that it was important to have a mix and a different range of price points and different categories to offer, because we do feel that this is going to be a very popular and multi-generational cruise line as well. So here's a couple renderings, because our ship is still in the shipyard being built right now. The picture that you see on the right-hand side is actually one of the Juliet or French-style balconies that we were talking about. So you can kind of see the extended sitting area space there and the floor-to-ceiling windows. And out there in the window, you see kind of a black bar horizontally across. Anything above that black bar will actually open up, and you can actually look out and get fresh air. And when you don't want the breeze coming in, you can close that and utilize that extra living space for that type of balcony. Here's some additional renderings. That's, I thought, a really beautiful picture of one of the hallways. And this is also one of our suites with a separate sitting area and bedroom, but an extended large outdoor balcony as well. So our ships, again, will all be identical, but World Navigator will have 6 passenger decks. We will have some triple accommodations, so there could be thirds in the cabins. And we will have 2 ADA accessible staterooms per ship. You can also, along with our gym and our spa, we'll have a jogging track, a lounge, a pool, hot tubs, and a sunning deck area for warmer waters. All of our guest staterooms will take place or be located on decks 3, 5, and 6. We talked about Water's Edge as well, which will be on deck 5, but all of our entertainment will take place there on deck 4. So our spa and our lounges, and again, any of our gym and any of our entertainment will be there on that main level. And then on deck 3, we'll actually have our mudroom and our Zodiac loading right there in the belly of our ship, where people can come down and actually get ready and suited up to go on our expeditions for our cold water destinations. We have 18 Zodiacs per ship, and we have a team of expedition experts that will be on board to assist, giving you briefings before and after, making sure that you're geared up and ready to go, but again, doing that in the comfort of the vessel itself. And again, here are a few more renderings from our ship, our pool area, our lounge and auditorium area, and as well as our spa. So right now, because we are new and we are still working on our itineraries, right now we have launched our itineraries and released all of them starting from our inaugural in July of 2021 on World Navigator all the way through March of 2022. And we are looking to announce more in the coming weeks and months of where we're going to be traveling, but we will be going, like I said, to different destinations. And we've kind of divided them into warm water and cold water. But we will start out in July of next year on the Aegean Sea. We'll do a few Black Sea, Holy Land, and Western Med cruises before we take a transatlantic crossing from Lisbon over to Barbados. Once we get to the Caribbean, we'll do a Caribbean and a mini South America voyage, and then we'll actually take the cruise all the way down the eastern coast of South America and end up in Ushuaia in Argentina, where we begin our Antarctica season from November through March, from November 21 to March of 22. So let's take a quick peek at some of our itineraries so that you know what types of trips that we are actually taking on our first ship, the World Navigator. So our very first inaugural voyage will take place July 17th from Valletta, Malta, all the way to Athens. And we'll make a few very unique stops in between as well. And again, a lot of people are very interested in doing our inaugural sailing because she's a brand new ship and first out of the gate. And we also want to make sure that we are including a lot of unique features, shore excursions and options for all of our guests. That is kind of what our LUXE-ADVENTURE is all about. And I'm told that we are working on one optional tour that incorporates the running of the bulls because the timing will be just perfect for that. So some unique fun things to come with our inaugural sailing. We'll also go to the Black Sea, where we've got two different departures from Athens to Odessa and then Odessa to Istanbul. One is a 7-night, one is a 9-night. The majority of our cruises, our sweet spot is 9 to 12 nights, but we do mix it up and have a few 7-night cruises as well. And then we do have this one unique tour, and I'll just briefly mention it just for those that might be interested in something on a pre and post level. We have what we call a max shore itinerary. So a max shore itinerary is when we have two back-to-back cruises and we see an opportunity to kind of put those together and tie them together with an all fully inclusive land tour in the middle. Now, unfortunately, right now, we're only taking a wait list for this one that you see on the screen, but I do bring it up because it's been so popular, it has sold out. We will be offering this as a pre or a post land excursion for either one of these two cruises, if this is something of interest to you. So I didn't want to not mention it, but the idea behind our max shore itineraries, and we have two of them now and are working on a third, is again to bring together two different cruise itineraries. This one in particular starts in Athens. The first leg of the cruise goes all the way through and stops in Bulgaria and then ends up in Odessa, Ukraine. You'll actually disembark the ship for 3 days, 2 nights in a fully all-inclusive luxury experience. We include the hotels, the transfers, the food, and the tours, and they will take you into Kiev and then on to Chernobyl for something unique. And again, this is for people that are looking for something very different and unique to experience. And then we'll get you back to the ship in Odessa a couple of days later to start the second half of your journey and the second cruise from Odessa again through Russia, making a stop in the country of Georgia and some stops in Turkey before ending in Istanbul. We do a lot of overnights in our itineraries because we really believe that our guests are going to be the type that really want to have that in-depth experience. And like I said, this one is currently waitlisted for the full back-to-back, but if you're interested in Chernobyl and Kiev, we will be offering this in limited quantities for pre and post if one or the other of these cruises interests you. We'll also be visiting the Holy Land and taking kind of a deep dive here for 3 different itineraries that we have. So Istanbul to Jerusalem, Jerusalem to Athens, and then one round trip Athens. And again, we had an opportunity here to tie a couple of these cruises together for another max shore itinerary. This one's a little bit longer, so you do have to have the time to be able to take this one. But the first cruise starts in Istanbul. It has an overnight. It goes through, makes a stop in Kushadasi for Ephesus, and want to make sure that you're able to see everything. There is a lot of small ports in Turkey there, and we'll have an awful lot of really unique type shore excursions that you'll be able to embark on. And then at the end of that first cruise, again, we'll take you off fully inclusive, and included in the price of this whole trip will be a 6-day, 5-night all-inclusive trip where you can go and explore Petra, go into Jordan. We'll even include glamping, glamorous camping, in a local desert with Bedouins there, and then give you some time to explore Tel Aviv as well. You'll rejoin the ship in Ashdod for the second leg of that journey, and again, stop in Cyprus, in Cairo, Alexandria, Egypt, to see the pyramids, before ending the cruise in Athens, Greece. So really unique itinerary, something very different, and again, all-inclusive luxury experience from start to finish. This is called the Max Shore. This is our second Max Shore, and we're working on a third with the Holy Land. It's not out yet, but stay tuned because we will have some more information on that here in the near future, and I'll make sure that Michael has that and can get that to you if it's of interest to you. We'll also be doing some Western Med itineraries. We've got a couple of 7 nights here, iconic Greece and Italy, which actually takes you through the Corinth Canal. Our ships are small enough to get through there, really unique experience. Makes stops in some very small ports along the way in both Greece and Italy before ending in Rome. And then we also have the bucket list Mediterranean for a little more traditional ports there from Rome, ending up in Lisbon. Once in Lisbon, that's when we're going to transition over across the Atlantic, making a stop in Madeira and in Tenerife on the way over to Barbados. We'll also stop in St. Lucia just before we get to Barbados. So that is a 13-night transatlantic crossing, lots of sea days there for those of you who like to enjoy the luxury experience on board ship. And then we'll also have a 10-night cruise right after that, departing Barbados, stopping in a couple of smaller ports, Tobago, and then also Devil's Island in South America. We'll actually go into Belém, which is in the mouth of the Amazon River. Again, because we're small, we're able to navigate that experience. We'll stop in Fortaleza and Natal, and then end this cruise in Recife. Once in Brazil, in Recife, we will make our way down the eastern coast of South America. So we have 2 different cruises there, one from Recife all the way to Montevideo. This one makes an overnight stop in Rio, which lots of people are very excited about. And then the second night, or the second cruise that we have is Montevideo all the way down to Ushuaia. A lot of people have actually been talking to us. This one stops in Buenos Aires, again, very exciting. And we do have people that are very interested in this itinerary, one, because it's an 8-night cruise, and 2, because it makes a stop in the Falkland Islands. So that's been a very popular port for a lot of port collectors and people who want to go to unique places. This cruise actually does stop there. It ends in Ushuaia, and that is when we start off and kick off our Antarctica season. This is when we go into our expeditions, and we really look forward to kicking off this in style with some great opportunities there for people who are interested in visiting the 7th continent. If you've been to all other 6 continents and you're not sure where to go next, Antarctica is on the list, and we actually want to take you there so that you can experience this. So we've got 3 different itineraries there, 2 12 nights and 1 9 nights, one including a solar eclipse cruise November 28th, which is super special, and one that allows you to actually cross the Antarctic Circle. All of our cruises, because we are a Class 1 polar rated ship, we have the reinforced bow and reinforced hull that will allow us to go and navigate through the ice. And you can see the amazing wildlife up close and personal. It also allows us to do 2 landings on the ice per day at 100 people at a time, which means the entire ship can get off on the ice per day to see that. Not all ships are able to do that. Some ships are too large. They can only do 1 landing per day. Some ships are so large they can only do scenic cruising. We can do 2 landings per day plus scenic cruising and make sure that everyone on board our ship can get off and actually navigate and see the ice while they're there, and all the wildlife. So again, we're certified for ice exploration. We've got 18 Zodiacs per ship and our own special Zodiac loading area on deck 3. We do provide kayaks and paddle boards for free of charge for all of our guests. In cold water destinations like Antarctica, we do make sure that those are guided. They do have to be guided, but there's no charge for that. In our warm water destinations, the kayaks, we have bicycles, we also have paddle boards, and we have jet skis for warm water destinations. Those will all be free of charge for usage there. That's included. For Antarctica, we will have our naturalists and a team of experts on board, and we will give you gear. So you don't have to pack a big heavy coat. We will actually provide you with a parka that you can take home with you. We will also provide you with boots. They're called muck boots that actually go all the way up to your knees so that you don't get wet, because you do make beach landings from the Zodiacs. And suite guests also get binoculars included as well. So this is one of our 3 itineraries. It's a 9-night round trip Ushuaia, this Antarctica Discovery itinerary, which takes you into the South Shetland Islands, and you on the way back, you go up around Cape Horn, but all of our cruises will actually go into Drake Passage. So for those of you who have not been in Antarctica before, Drake Passage can be nicknamed Drake's Lake, which means it's smooth and very smooth sailing, or it could be the Drake Shake, which means it can be a little bit rough. But that is because Drake Passage is actually where the Atlantic meets the Pacific. So a very unique place and destination in the world to travel. You're going to notice on all of our Antarctica itineraries, you will see what's called Captain's Choice. So within these different itineraries, we always have our captains, and they will always be in contact with all other vessels in the area, whether they're fishing boats, other passenger ships, you name it. They're all in contact together, and they always talk about the weather, they talk about the ice, and they talk about the wildlife viewing, so that the captain can make his or her decision as to the best location to show you and to go and stay. So no 2 cruises or itineraries in Antarctica are ever identical. And we leave this again open to our navigation team to make the best decisions there, not just for safety purposes, but also for wildlife viewing and the best places for you to go and explore in the Zodiacs. Now this 12-night cruise that we have, again, round trip Ushuaia, is very similar to the 9-night, except there's a few more days there for the captain's choice, and allows you more landings per day, or more landings in your trip on the actual continent of Antarctica. But what's unique about this actual one is that you go and you actually cross the Antarctic Circle. So if it's important to you to knock that off your bucket list and not just step foot on the continent, but also go in and actually say, oh, I've been through the Antarctic Circle, this is definitely one that you want to take a look at. And then this is our last itinerary. It's our 12-night, again, itinerary, but it's a little bit different. It is special because it is our solar eclipse cruise. This departs November 28th of 2021, because on December 4th, the only place in the world to view this full solar eclipse will be in Antarctica. So we will be there. We're going to take you there. So if you or people that you like to travel with, if this is something unique and interesting that you think that they would love, we will have astronomers on board as well, on top of all of the glaciologists and experts and marine biologists that we have and naturalists on board for Antarctica. This one will actually navigate all the way up to South Georgia and Sandwich Islands so that you can have the best viewing of the full solar eclipse. This only happens once every 400 years, so if you miss it this time, it's going to be a while before the next one comes around. But again, a really unique and great itinerary. Now, this one is selling up pretty quickly. We do still have space. I talked to Michael about it earlier. We do still have some space on it, so please let him know if this is something you're interested in, because I do anticipate this one selling out. Remember, we only have 98 staterooms, so we're not a big ship, but if this is something of interest to you, definitely let us know, because again, a unique experience there. Again, I wanted to mention our guided landings. We will have all of our experts for our expedition team there that will actually take you on land and walk around and see the wildlife. You'll see bears, you'll see penguins, you will see seals, you'll see whales. You'll see that from land and you'll see that from sea, because we'll also have guided cruises on our Zodiacs as well with our team of experts, and a beautiful landscape with the calving of the glaciers, the icebergs. It's just an unbelievable, unmatched type of experience that you can do, and also come back to a luxury experience on board. And again, we include this gear for you. So everybody gets a bright green parka. You're probably thinking, ooh, why is it so bright? We do this for safety purposes. It's something that needs to stand out when our guides have a go with you on land. We want to make sure that we recognize you and we see you, and you don't blend in with the wildlife there in Antarctica. We do provide, again, those muck boots that you can put over up to your knees so that you don't get wet and dirty, but there is a whole process for gearing up and gearing down. So that will all take place in your briefings before the expeditions. When you get down to the mudroom on deck 3, before you load into the Zodiacs, they'll have you wash the boots and make sure, because you can't take anything to the island or bring anything back from the island. There are a lot of very special rules in terms of what's available there, and the guidelines that we have to follow for expedition trips in these very remote regions. And again, we'll give you a personal flotation device, and also suite guests will actually get their own pair of binoculars each as well. And like I mentioned, we're going to have a whole host of different experts on board: marine biologists, naturalists, ornithologists, which actually study birds, glaciologists, geologists, and photographers, a mix and a range of different people that will be on board to not just brief you on what you're going to see, but talk about what you see during the experience and afterwards, and really give you an in-depth, personal, up-close look at what you're visiting in Antarctica. So our current promotions right now, for those of you who would be interested in doing Europe, Caribbean, or South America, we call those our warm water destinations. We have an amazing promotion that Michael is well aware of and his entire team, which offers you, because air is included with this promotion, all suites have a business class air upgrade that's included, and then all of their stateroom categories booked under this promotion get Economy Plus. On top of that, we are issuing a $500 per person pre-cruise shore excursions credit. And this credit needs to be, the trick here is you have to spend it before you get on board. So shore excursions will be available about 8 months prior to sailing. So you'll be able to pick out which additional shore excursions that you want to do, or if there's a pre or post package that you're interested in doing, you can apply that $500 per person to those experiences as well. We'll also be issuing with this promotion only a $200 per person shipboard credit that you can spend for the spa, gift shop, or again, any of those excursions you decide to book on board. And they are also offering a 50% reduced deposit at the moment to hold your spot. And this offer expires September 30th. So got to book by the end of this month to take advantage of all these great opportunities. For Antarctica, it's basically the same thing. We'll have the business class air upgrade for suites and economy air for all of their stateroom categories. Because most of our shore excursions are included in Antarctica with our expedition, there is a $200 per person as you choose credit. You can either purchase it or you can either choose to use it toward purchases pre-cruise, which would be shore excursions, or again pre-post packages, or you could choose to have that for your onboard credit and spend that on board in any way that you wish. Again, that 50% reduced deposit is applicable, and this again offer expires September 30th. So we want to make sure you get those in. So any of those inaugural season cruises that we talked about just now, they are all applicable to this as well. And you can ask Michael and his associates for any of those details, because they have the latest and greatest. And if they have questions, then they can ask me, and I will get them the information that they need as soon as possible. Again, because it's very forefront on everyone's minds these days, we do have a very flexible voyage change policy. Guests have the flexibility to change their voyage without any sort of penalties to any other inaugural season voyage or any published itinerary that we have up to 30 days prior to departure. So you do have that flexibility. For some reason, even at that time, 30 days before, if you're still undecided as to which trip you want to change it to, we will issue a future cruise credit, and that future cruise credit is redeemable again on any published voyage that we have through March of 22. And future cruise credits are transferable. So if you have a friend or a family member that you would rather transfer that to, if you can't make it for whatever reason, you can give those or issue those to someone else. We can change that name. So we try to be as flexible as possible with given the current circumstances of what's going on. But in any case, I hope that that was a nice little taste of something new. Atlas Ocean Voyages, we're super excited about introducing this product. We absolutely love working with Michael Graham and his associates. They are amazing experts. They ask all the right questions and have all of the right information. So again, please feel free to route any of your questions through him or his team, and they will come to me if there's something that they can't answer, and I will get back to them just as soon as possible. But I really appreciate your time. I get super excited talking about this new product, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Kathy. That was very informative.
For sure.
I can tell you're excited about it. It's a great product. I've learned something as that I shouldn't wear this shirt because it's like every time I move, it's not made for Zoom, I don't think. Got to think about this wardrobe before a talk, right? And I do have some questions here I'm going to pass on to you from some of the guests. And
Sure.
I'll say, people know this, I have been fortunate enough to have been to all 7 continents. And
Awesome.
My favorite one is Antarctica. I highly recommend it. I will have to say you will not see any bears, but you will see 6 or 7 types of penguins, which are very friendly little animals. I mean, you're not supposed to go out and touch the animals, but if you just sit down, they will approach you, or they'll walk very close where you could take a picture. And we have pictures around here at my office of these wonderful little animals that love to they're very social and interactive, and you'll see leopard seals, and there are all types of interesting animals, and it is the most beautiful place on earth because it's untouched, it's pristine. It's an example of how our world is able to work together through a series of treaties, and we have research stations. Probably, during the captain's choice, you might visit 1 or 2 of those, and you just see how the world can work together. It really can. And so it's hope. It's a lot of hope, and I love it. I mean, you just feel like you're on another planet, completely another planet.
For sure.
So if you need a lecture, on board, Kathy, I'll be glad to go back.
Yay! I'll give that feedback.
And that's another thing I'll bring up is these naturalists and experts that they have on board make all the difference, because during your downtime, like when you're crossing the Drake Passage, and for me, one way was Drake Lake, and one way a little Drake Shake. I think there's varying degrees, but they're giving lectures, so you're already preparing. How do you take photographs when you have an all white background and it's very sunny, for example, and how to get good photos of the wildlife and things like that. And the ornithologist, which I learned that word on that cruise, but these bird experts, because obviously penguins, you have albatross, you have cormorants, flightless cormorants, all types of birds that I've never seen or even heard of, and they go all into that. And then as you get to know these people on the cruise, they're typically your Zodiac drivers, and then when you make your landings and you get out, they're there to answer questions or go on the hikes with you, and they really make a huge difference. So I highly recommend that. And also, I love the fact it goes down through Brazil. I used to live in Fortaleza, which is one of the stops after Recife. Yeah. So we have a couple of questions on here. The first one, Cathy, can you elaborate, what does anchorless mean?
So our anchorless positioning means that we actually have a positioning system that will allow us to stay fairly still and enjoy the sights, but we don't actually drop anchor, so we will not be disturbing any of the marine wildlife or coral reefs or anything below the surface of the water at any time. But it does keep us in a holding pattern or a position where we don't move for long periods of time.
And Lou, if you have a question, feel free to, I know you do, while I'm reading these other ones. Okay, so I think you kind of answered this, but this is, does all-inclusive mean everything? Any extras, any optional activities that require additional fees?
So we include gratuities, we include all of your food and beverage, obviously the air, which is a huge component in this as well. Butler service for suites, obviously, and Wi-Fi, is standard Wi-Fi. If you wanted to upgrade to the premium Wi-Fi, I believe there will be a small charge for that. I don't know right now what that difference is. I have asked, so I'm waiting for more information on that. The spa is additional. Gift shops are obviously additional. And then we will include some shore excursions depending on the length of the itinerary. Right now, I'm told it's one shore excursion per person per 7-day cruise. So for the 12-night, we'll probably be giving 2 per person, but that is still in development at the moment. But again, we're going to supplement that right now with our current promotion that will allow a $500 per person pre-ShoreX credit that will cover quite a lot of those opportunities too. We will have 3 different degrees of shore excursions too, which is mild, moderate, and vigorous. We do think that our guests will be very well traveled and want to explore and do some unique types of things. But we will have your standard city type tours with a nice little flair. We'll do some culinary experiences and cultural experiences, but for our vigorous, we're going to have some fun things. We're going to have skydiving and hang gliding and kayaking and paddle boarding in the glaciers. And so some really fun, unique, adventurous type things, but we will definitely have something for everybody. And a few of those will be included that I had mentioned earlier, but a lot of them will be additional as well. Some people ask, for example, if we'll have camping on the ice in Antarctica. We will be offering that in a limited quantity for an additional charge. I don't know yet what the pricing looks like on that, but it will be available to book ahead of time online, not a lottery. And again, it will be very limited quantities there.
Great. And also, anybody else on the line, if you have questions, feel free to type it in the Q&A box or the chat, and I'm happy to ask it, or I can promote you to panelist and you'll have your webcam on. Just let me know. Let's see, I'm going to try to answer this one and then you can finish answering it, I'm sure. But it says, what is the vacuum that Atlas is attempting to fill? In other words, what distinguishes Atlas from any other small ship cruise line? And before you go, I just want to say that, number one, the fact that it's a small ship. I mean, probably the one downside of small ships, from my perspective, is they sell out so fast. I mean, there's only 98 cabins. If you think about some of the mega ships out there, they have 2,500 cabins. I mean, 5,000 passengers, and these ships sell out. So if you can imagine, there's just, even if they didn't make any changes whatsoever, we need more small ships. And probably more than ever, because people are looking for more physical distancing and smaller groups and things like that. And then what I heard Cathy say earlier is that, you know, they're looking for people also that are active as well as interested and well-traveled. And so that's one difference. It's not that it necessarily has to fill a vacuum. It's just that there's a need for more small ships.
Sure. And I think, you know, with the whole thought process behind Atlas and this new brand, our president and then our CEO of our parent company came together and said, you know, we do see somewhat of a void in the cruise industry right now for a luxury expedition type experience. So we're trying to kind of marry the two. We're trying to have a very upscale but casual, and that's why we use the term LUXE-ADVENTURE versus formal and more of a, we don't want it to come across as something that's too over the top or stuffy by any means. We want to make sure that people are comfortable and it's a casual, simple elegance on board, but it's still all the premium, high quality type service and appointments on the ship that you'll find on typical luxury cruising. we'll have that available, but also incorporate a lot of, like you said, fun and adventure and skewing on the side of active type activities. And again, we're going to have something for everybody. We do expect that we will be multi-gen. We know that people in this category will want to travel with their families. We do have age restrictions. We don't have a children's program, and we do not cater to children, but we don't exclude them. We do have age restrictions for Antarctica. It's a minimum age of 8 years old or older because of the safety regulations and getting in and out of the zodiacs. And then in our warm water destinations, we just ask that the children be 12 months or older. We don't expect to have a lot of children on board, but we certainly don't want to rule them out, either exclude anyone from enjoying this type of experience with their families.
And one other thing I'll mention is, like you say, well appointed, because when I went to Antarctica, it was, by definition, it's on a small ship, but it only had one restaurant, and it wasn't a great restaurant. So having 4 restaurants with Michelin star restaurant or chefs would be a welcome amenity, because you're not going to be dining anywhere else when you're in Antarctica.
For sure. Exactly.
Okay, I have just one more question if nobody else has any further questions. And this is, what does glamping really mean? What is glamping under the stars?
Glamping is glamorous camping. So it sounds like my way to go, actually. If it's for those that want kind of that outdoor unique experience, but without having to lay on a hard dirt surface on the ground at night. So it will be a very glamorous, upscale, luxury, yet outdoor experience in the desert with locals. But still, again, we will have a luxury experience for our guests every step of the way. So unique, but again, on the higher end side, so you don't have to get all down and dirty and hot and sticky while you're there.
Yeah, I don't think the guests will be setting up the tents or anything like that.
No. We'll see you too.
Quick question, Cathy. I saw that there was a helicopter pad. Does the ship come with a helicopter, or is that just sort of emergencies?
No, we do not have a helicopter that will be sailing with us on board. However, I have been told that we will be utilizing that helipad for some unique excursion opportunities, as well as possibly some ultra sweet embarkation and disembarkation opportunities too. So all that's being developed as we speak right now. But yes, thanks for noticing.
All right, and if anybody else has them, I'll just put allow to talk. Oh, no, it's not. Older version. Somebody's using an older version of Zoom. If anybody has any other questions, your microphones are turned on. You're welcome to ask. We still have a couple of minutes left before the top of the hour. So I don't see any other ones.
I had a quick one. I had gone on the website a couple of different times and requested a brochure because I wanted to have a little better idea as to the pricing structure, because you could only pull out a little bit of information on pricing. It says starts at and so forth. So I wanted to see where it went from starting at to whatever else is available. So
sure.
Hopefully I'll get a brochure before long.
The brochures are actually at the printer as we speak. They're supposed to be released sometime at the end of this month, but we just updated our website last week. So now if you go on and click on the itinerary, the specific one, you can download a PDF that has the pricing, the standard pricing there. But I can always get Michael all of our pricing for you if you have specific questions about that, and then incorporate our current promotion that ends at the end of this month too. A good average range, if you're looking for that, because I know people ask, is we're in line with other luxury and expedition products, but a good range is about $800 to $1,000 per person per day on average, but keep in mind that includes your round trip airfare from 16 different gateways.
Yeah, really good value. I can't wait till you guys launch, and it's got to be great to be in the position of so many existing cruise lines are having to deal with a lot of COVID issues right now, and it's got to be helpful to be coming out as a new cruise line. Of course, we all have our issues, but it's got to help. So
right. No, for sure. And I think it's kind of a good news story to be able to promote this and to talk about it and get excited about it, because again, she's a brand new ship coming straight out of our shipyard with the latest and greatest technology on board. So at least we'll have that working in our benefit in July of next year when she launches, and hopefully the world will be in a much different place by then, and we will look forward to welcoming all of you on board.
Well, thank you very much, Cathy.
Thank
and
you.
I want to thank all of our guests for attending today. We're always welcome on our talks. And if you think of something the moment we hang up, then just shoot me an email. And if I can't answer it, I'll pass it right on to Cathy. And we did finish before 5 o'clock as promised. And Cathy, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me and giving me the opportunity to talk about my new product. I'm very excited about it. And again, I look forward to hearing from you, Michael, and look forward to welcoming all of your guests on board.
You got it. All right.
Take
Thanks,
care.
everybody. Have a great day.
Bye.
Good
Take care.
time.